Hey there, guys. Got something pretty different for you today. Of course, another video for Train Simulator. This is the GMD G12, and it's by a group of guys called the Diesel Workshop. They've actually got quite a few locomotives, and I feel bad for not knowing that they existed up until now, but it's some pretty decent looking stuff on their shop. I'd definitely like you to take a look. None of it is wholly North American. They were, of course, made in North America, but this is one of the most exported locomotives, uh, pretty much ever from the continent of North America. I guess you can put it like that. But anyway, this is the G12 in the CN livery, and it looks pretty good. Pretty striking exterior wise. It's about $10 US dollars. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what I could throw at you here. It had a 567C cylinder, not cylinder, 12 cylinder engine. This was like pre GP7 era. Um, let's see what I could scratch up for you here, factual wise. So it was GMD, the Canadian affiliate of General Motors. They built a lot of these things. A lot of them went overseas, New Zealand, Australia, um, ton of other places. I feel like India, Brazil. There were just a lot of these engines, but it's a neat little engine. Only one of them, or two possibly, I think, were actually in North America over near the west coast of Canada for Canadian National. This is number 992. This is the only one you get in the pack, but there are other G12s, just not in Canadian National livery. It was built in 1957 by GMD for the London and Port Stanley as their L5 unit. So it basically hung around there all of its life. They had two of these. Let's see, L4 and L5. Let's see. Yeah, it's mainly Vancouver Island. I'm trying to do a brief here. I honestly don't know a lot about these things. I looked them up a little bit, but they're pretty interesting. So anyway, they were built, mainly exported, went overseas. A lot of places still use them. One of the only videos I could find of these things in action was, I believe, on curse me if I'm wrong, a Swiss railroad, maybe Swedish. I think it might be Swedish, but anyway, it had great sound in the video that I saw. But anyway, it's a good looking model. I mean, it looks decent. It's painted well. The headlights look fantastic. It's got the nice, realistic looking number lights with the bulbs kind of faded out in there. The undercarriage looks pretty damn good. It's just a nice looking engine. Got the exhaust on top. This thing is old school. It's definitely a brick, but that's what's kind of neat about it. We'll go ahead and fire it up here. I think they didn't have too much power. Maybe around about 1,000 horsepower, I think, roughly. Anyway, they were built between 1953 and 1968. Standard gauge, 107 long tons, 120 short. Could hold about 2,840 liters of fuel. Yep, and the prime mover was an EMD 567, two-stroke V12 diesel. Thing sounded pretty damn good. This thing sounds pretty decent. They did add custom sounds to it. Not sure from where, but if you look up a video of the, I'm pretty sure it's a Swedish engine of one of these running, they had a unique sound indeed. Got about 1,300 or 1,400 and a quarter horsepower. But anyway, let's just take a quick look at it. It's a neat little engine. Go ahead and fire it up here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. That's a decent startup, I must say. Sounded alright. And of course the horn, you heard a bit of that. It sounds alright. It's not bad. If there's a loop in there, I can't hear it. It doesn't have an abrupt ending to it. It's got a nice beginning. And the bell, of course. And it moves. This thing is very nicely modeled. I'd like to point out all the stuff on their website I was checking out last night looks pretty darn good as well. It's a shame that we don't really have any routes to run some of the exported stuff on, but it's alright. See the rads in there under the vent. This thing looks good though, man. It's a brick, but, you know, bricks need love too, I guess. I like the way it looks, and it looks pretty darn nice and CN. We'll go ahead and hop in here. Now, the interior, it's a little bit funky. I don't know, maybe they were like this, I guess. I couldn't really find any definitive photos of this, but I mean, it's weathered in here all right. It looks decent. It's just the color, this kind of, you know, Mary Kay pink. Not sure what that is. Anyway, it's got operable windows, of course. Door opens as well. And it's got sound occlusion. Opened. Closed. Opened. Closed. That's always a plus. Got a reverser down here. Power handle. Train brakes. There's our bell. Sander. Let's see, what is this here? Ah, it's a cab heater. Doesn't work, it's alright. Here's your headlight control, front and rear. Got a couple of switches up top as well. We got the cab light. That's a good looking cab light, man. Credit where credit is due. This looks good. It's not that super crazy bright HID look, you know. It's got like a nice yellowing to it. I think it looks better with the damn lights on in here than off. I mean, that looks really nice. And there's no frame hit. I mean, we're on the Yellowhead Pass, so it's not frame hitting anyhow. But of course, you turn the light on and it does hit a little bit. But just in general operation, there's no frame hit. From what I can tell, anyway. We got our wipers. Class lights, front and rear. We'll go ahead and take a look at those. There's our reds on the front. And on the rear. The lighting on this thing is good. I wish this was like the norm, the standard for content, North American and otherwise. Oops, turn those back off. Get the class lights off. We'll leave them on the rear. Turn them off on the front. We got our number boards. Off and on, obviously. Dim rear. So that's dim. That's off. And then bright is the nice, you know, sun glow orangey yellow. Here's our gauge lights. And you got a couple of bulbs up here as well. There's wheel slip, PCS open, alerter, and test. I don't know if they light up. We'll try and find out here though. The engine run, gen field, and control and fuel pump are on by default. That's fine. Not the end of the world. Here's our speedo. Alright, so we're on the Yellowhead Pass and just some random scenario. I just kind of threw this thing in. Got a little jump seat back here. Even the jump seat looks nice. The weathering on that, the cracking and peeling and stuff. And I may be completely wrong here, but as soon as I saw this thing, I thought of the that New Zealand route. And the engines look just like this. I need to do a little bit more research, but even the way this thing is particularly modeled, it kind of looks like the one that came with that route, which I would also like to take a look at as well one day. Door opens as well. Alright, let's get rolling. Get our loco brake off. Now the sounds are alright. It's got a decent exhaust sound, but the sounds as far as the notching kind of reminds me of the travel by train stuff, where there's just kind of a silence in between. There's no segue in between the sounds. Flange noise sounds pretty good. So that's notch 2, notch 3. And it's got sound occlusion, which is nice. It doesn't sound the exact same on the interior as the exterior. I don't want to derail here. I'm gonna go ahead and start braking. But it's got a unique exhaust note. I really like it. And it's got a the character in here, the engineer. That definitely looks like a real dude's face plastered on there. That's pretty realistic looking. Alright, we gotta run back here. I want to see how she does coupling up the cars and whatnot. There we go. Throw her in reverse. Got decent brake sounds, the compressor running and all that. And look at the smoke. Noticing the little puffs of smoke. That's nice. It's not just a constant chuffing. It looks like it kind of it looks dynamic. Can't really tell. We'll get some weight behind us and throw the power handle on, take a better look at that. But yeah, these guys that made this are a couple of Portuguese guys, Brazilians. The website kind of blew me away. They've got quite a few items on offer, including this little beauty. But for some reason or another, it's a shame I'd never heard of the site that these were on offer from, and it's a shame. Alright, see how we do here. Alright, we are hooked up. Not going to pay attention to that. Go ahead and charge the pipes. Yeah, you can even hear the running gear switching between reverse, neutral, and forwards. Go ahead and release. Alright, let's see how she does with the smoke here. Alright, well, it doesn't seem to change. I thought for some reason it did. Just kind of little puffs. It's definitely got some nice flange noise. That exhaust note, man, I'm really liking that exhaust note. That's unique, to say the least. But anyway, this is what you get. You get 992 in Canadian National. They've got other G12s and other liveries as well. You don't get any scenarios, you know, which is fine. There's a couple of places you can run this thing easily that wouldn't seem terribly out of place. But it's a unique little engine. Something totally different, which is nice. It's modeled quite well. I mean, it looks alright. It could use a little dirtying up on the undercarriage, but the top of the thing looks pretty darn good. But, you know, when it comes to bang for your buck, this thing ain't too shabby, man. It's $10. It's like 9 and change US dollars. This thing sounds alright, man. I'm grinning ear to ear listening to this thing. If it had a nicer transition noise between each notch, I'd say it'd be perfect. It's damn close, though. Let's throw out notch 8 for a minute. Break! Oh dear. This may not be good. Well, there's your PCS blown. Alright, you know, we've been dropping off the empty cars at Cedar Side number 1. We're not going to pay attention to that. Alright, well, it seems the PCS light doesn't work, which, you know, again, it's not horrible. Oh, look, nice. It's even got the plate on here where they're made. London, Ontario. Try and release them here. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with this thing. It looks top notch. I mean, the undercarriage could use a little weathering, yes, but I mean, even look at the wheels here. Those are some nice wheels. They don't have that crazy kind of ultra mirror reflectivity look, you know, like a lot of stuff in this game does. Look nice and dingy. But man, if the chassis had just a little bit of darkening and blackening and rusting and corrosiveness, this thing would be easily 10 out of 10. Just my quick look at it. Right now, I mean, between the sounds being custom realistic sounds, the horn sounding decent with no terrible loop, the bell, the animated bell, the windows, the doors. I mean, the headlights look fantastic. The number boards look great. This is a sweet little engine. But anyway, I will link the website in which it is located for you to check out if you'd like to do so. But we'll run it up one more time, and that will be the video. This little sucker's nice, man. I'm really liking this thing. The smoke looks pretty good. I kind of like the way the smoke is just kind of puffing out the top. If it had, you know, the dynamic smoke that we see from the likes of Searchlight stuff, again, that would make it a 10 out of 10 just on this brief look. You know, but aside those couple of things, it's a nice little engine. A place that you could easily use this thing that wouldn't seem out of place and possibly very realistic and prototypical would be Columbia Valley Pacific, the Wayne Campbell route on Railworks America, which I intend to run this thing on here shortly. But that's it, guys. Just wanted to take a quick look at this thing. I fumbled the details up, but if you want that kind of stuff IRL, you could always go and look at Wiki. But that's it. Gonna go ahead and end it right here. I'll put all the information down under the description of the video if you want to go and check them out for yourself. But otherwise, as always, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.